Welcome, everyone. I'm Harry Gottlieb, and this is the latest episode of Community News, Pillars of the Community, where we celebrate individuals, businesses, institutions, and organizations that support and benefit our community. Today, we're going to share information about TAP?
TAP, yes.
TAP and Achieve Miami.
Yeah, so the Teacher Accelerator Program, also known as TAP, and
Yes.
Achieve Miami is our sister organization.
And we have a beautiful young lady here by name of Jasmine.
Yes.
And we'd like to introduce you to Jasmine. And Jasmine's going to tell us a little bit about herself before she talks about the Accelerator Program.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, Harry. I'm very excited to be here.
Welcome.
Thanks. So I'm born and raised from Miami. That's probably the most important thing to know about me. And I am 305 till I die. And the city really has, I think, shaped not just me, but the program and all that we do in education. So I went to Coral Reef Senior High School, graduated, went to college, and then started my career as a teacher here in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, taught for 7 years. And then during that time in the classroom is where I really got to be front row with some of the things that are going on in education. And one of those issues that came about very clearly was that of the teacher shortage. I remember there was years where we couldn't fill 1 or 2 positions, and just the impact that that had on not just my classroom, but my fellow first grade teachers' classrooms, on the school, on the community, and just really what happens when a teacher is not present in a building and the impact and ripple effect that that had. So kind of fast forward a couple years, our founder and president of the Teacher Accelerator Program, her name is Leslie Miller Science. She's a powerhouse philanthropist, an amazing person here in Miami.
We'd love to meet her someday.
We definitely should meet her one day. She is 10 times the energy that I am.
No, I can't.
Oh, yes.
I don't think we could contain her.
She is amazing. I consider her a personal friend and mentor. But she's been involved in education for years. Her sister nonprofit, or our sister nonprofit, Achieve Miami, she actually founded 10 years ago. We just had our 10-year anniversary. So she's been in the education field for a long time. She's kind of seen firsthand some of the issues that our communities face with education. And so when the teacher shortage became kind of at its boiling point, because it's been around for a long time, we've had a shortage for decades, but you really saw this boiling point happen around the pandemic. That's when I think Leslie said, enough's enough. This is a problem our community is facing. This is a solvable problem. Let's see what we can do to solve it. So she got together with some other really great, brilliant minds in our community and started thinking about, could we create a pathway into education for those who weren't necessarily considering it, not necessarily seeking it out? Are there people in our community who would be great teachers who just haven't tapped into that superpower yet? And so she reached out to me and kind of asked me, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Is this something you'd be interested in? And it was an immediate yes for me. Having been a first grade teacher, having been in classrooms and in school buildings and knowing what happens when a kindergartner goes to class and doesn't have a steady teacher, when a bio student who is aspiring to be a doctor doesn't have an AP class because they can't find a teacher. That to me is something that we should all be really concerned about. And so we got together, we had a blank sheet of paper and said, okay, how do we want to do this? And so we built up a program that now has trained over 700 teachers in 4 years, has brought 500 new teachers into the classroom, and is well on its way to helping solve a very critical problem here in Miami.
What kind of a shortage do we have right now?
So right now, it depends on which county you're talking about. So across South Florida, we have anywhere between 400 to 700 openings throughout the year. And it fluctuates, right? So it's not always in one single point. And we have between public, private, charter openings across the ecosystem of education too. It's not just in one type of school.
How do we encourage students to become teachers if the salaries are not comparable to other industries and if the housing is so expensive?
Mm-hmm. So you probably read like I read. Miami is officially one of the most, or if not the most expensive city in Miami. Have you read that?
Yes, which I can't believe that it's true, but that's what they say.
And yet there are hundreds, thousands of people who have a bachelor's degree, which is required to become a teacher, who are making less than $35,000 a year in our community. And we know that because 75% of the candidates who come through our program, and candidates are what we call the people who are working to become teachers, 75% of that were making $35,000 or less with a bachelor's degree before coming to teaching. So teaching becomes, this is kind of like shifting that narrative. Yes, of course, there's a very big argument to be made about teacher pay and salary and all of those things. But for the candidates who actually come through our program, many of them, this is an opportunity to get on a track for a career. This is an opportunity to actually improve their lot. We see a lot of economic mobility through our program. And you'd be surprised for how many people teaching is a viable option for them, even though, yes, we do need to be having the conversation about teacher pay and salary.
So tell us how the TAP program actually works.
Yeah, my favorite topic. Thank you for bringing that up.
Of all the topics, that's your
all
favorite
the
one?
topics I could talk about.
Better
TAP
than soccer and movies and books and things like that?
Hey, listen, it's about getting kids teachers. I could talk about this all day.
Good.
So our program is very streamlined. I like to say it is not complex and complicated, but it is rigorous. Right? You need to be ready to commit yourself to this work. So we recruit from across the board. So we have career-changing professionals who come to us from a variety of places. We have college seniors who are about to graduate and are trying to figure out, what do I want to do next with my life? What do I want my first career to be? And we have school-based staff who are already in buildings but maybe haven't transitioned to that full-time classroom teacher yet. And we recruit them, we bring them into our network, and they start off with a one-semester class. So we have a partnership, a beautiful partnership with Miami-Dade College, Florida International University, FIU, with Barry University, Broward College, and the University of Miami. So you can take the class at one of those 5 places. Once you're done with the course, which is this Introduction to Education Foundation, and it's really designed to help those who were not education majors, don't have a really strong background in education, but maybe have a really strong content knowledge. So they have a bachelor's degree in biology and they want to go teach biology, or maybe they've worked a business for a really long time and they want to go be a business teacher now. They have that real world experience. We want to help them take that and segue it into teaching. But we know that teaching also is a whole skill set outside of that. And so we train for that. So you do this course and then you come to our summer training program. Our summer training program is 6 weeks. We just finished it. I am on a high from it. We just finished our pinning ceremony, which is kind of the graduation portion. But it's 6 weeks, and it's this comprehensive professional development, classroom teaching, confidence building place where our candidates come. They work with mentor teachers. They work with coaches. So think of a basketball coach, but for a teacher, and who are going to come in, watch them teach, give them feedback. They practice teach with each other. So someone like you and me would stand up and we'd pretend that our peers were our classroom, and we would practice our lessons and we get better every day. And I just dissected all of the data from our summer, and we had 95% of our teachers say that they felt more confident from beginning to end in those 6 weeks, and they felt like strong starters that they could go into the classroom. I think we're very proud of that. And also we help a lot of people access it. So we make this process very sustainable for our teachers. That whole 6-week summer is paid. So we give them, between the summer and when they get hired, $5,000 so that they can transition and still take care of some of those needs that they have.
So the teachers do not pay for this education?
Yeah, we cover the cost.
You cover the cost.
And I think that's an important part. So while they're going through this whole process, they get paid for the summer. Then we help place them in classrooms across the city. And then we have a year of ongoing mentorship. And so to become a teacher, you have to have tests that you have to take and certifications. And again, for a lot of the people in our program, accessing that can be a barrier to entry. And I personally don't want anyone to say, I can't become a teacher because I can't pay for this test. Like, why would we why would we deprive a child of a teacher because they couldn't pay for a test? So we cover that. We make sure we cover their fingerprinting and background and all the little things that could get them caught up, and we help them through the whole process. So our candidates do have stake in the game, right? There are things that they do and have to cover, and they have to be committed and with their time, which is a very valuable thing. But we try and make the process as seamless as possible, as clear as possible. So if you are going to start and end with TAP, we know that there's a path for you as long as you're ready to commit and do the work.
Is there a path for substitute teachers as well?
Yes, so we just brought in 200 candidates. 90 of them were actually substitutes this last year. And then they went through our program, and now they're going to go from subs to full-time teachers this year.
So my younger sister, Claudia, lives in Naples, Florida, and she's retired. And she's doing substitute teaching work, and she just loves it.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people in our program are either second career, third career, retired. One of my favorite stories to tell is about call him a young man. Sean would not say he's a young man, but he drove an hour and a half every day to come to our program. And he was retired. He had done years of several different things that he's worked on in his life, but he's done new things. He always kind of embraced new things and new challenges. And he was like a computer scientist for a while, and he taught himself that. And now he's entering and becoming a teacher, and he taught himself that.
So he's a Renaissance man.
He's a Renaissance. And when I say that is the best way to describe him, they don't make people like him anymore. And I'm very proud that he's one of our top teachers.
So tell us about your funding. Tell us about how people can participate in getting involved in volunteerism.
Yeah. First, I think it's important that people talk about the issue. I think when I say the teacher shortage to people, a lot of people are surprised when I say there are hundreds of openings at the start of a school year. They're surprised when they hear me say, one of the stories that's always kept with me was our very first year of doing this. I had the opportunity to talk to a group of students, and these were high school students. And I asked them, hey, we're starting this new organization. It's centered around the problem of the teacher shortage. Have you been affected personally by the shortage? And there was this young lady who, she had done everything right. She was an A student. She was getting ready to apply early admission to colleges. And she told me, I could not have this AP class that I really wanted in my junior year because they couldn't find a teacher for it. And it affected her ability to get into certain colleges, because you know how important those courses are and such when you're applying to really make yourself competitive. And it has stuck with me that not only did she lost access to that opportunity, but that it had a ripple effect and impact on her life. And I don't think people understand that, the teacher shortage as an issue, if you think about the percentage of the overall workforce that is missing, right? It's comparable maybe to other industries. But when you have 1% to 2%, 3%, 5% of an industry missing, you just share the workload with other people if it's in business or real estate. When you have a teacher missing in a classroom, you can't just share that workload. That teacher needs to be present. Those kids need that stable person. So the first thing I would say is people should be talking about the issue more and raising it as an awareness. Second, organizations like ours work really well when we have public-private partnerships. We're very lucky at TAP to have a lot of community support. But if there are businesses who want to get involved, I think businesses, particularly knowing that Miami is thriving right now, Miami is in such a high, and I think we're at one of our pinnacles, and people are really excited about being here. There's a lot of energy around it. I think business leaders know we're not going to attract the best talent and be able to retain the level and status we have as a city if our education systems are not strong. And the number one thing we need to focus on with our education systems is the classroom teacher. I think it's one of my favorite statistics to share is the single most important lever you can pull, the single most important in-school factor to predict outcomes for students is the classroom teacher. When they're strong, students are strong. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you have any special events that are coming up in the near future?
Yes, so we have info sessions that we're constantly running. Like I said, we just finished our pinning ceremony. Pinning ceremony, we saw 200 of our candidates walk across the stage, and that's their official marking of becoming a teacher. And we're constantly accepting applications. So our applications come in waves. You can go on our website to see when those waves are. But our most of our in-person things are for our candidates. They're for our group. But we do have Give Miami-Dade is always around the corner. That's in November, where you have an opportunity to donate to a particular organization. And Achieve Miami or the Teacher Accelerator Program is a great place to put your money.
So tell us again, wrap this up because we're running out of time. So the difference between the two organizations.
Absolutely. So Achieve Miami and the Teacher Accelerator Program, I like to describe it as two organizations, two missions, one heart and one founder.
And one umbrella.
So the Teacher Accelerator Program and Achieve Miami are underneath Achieve Inc. And I like to think of it as like this umbrella program that makes room for if we want to expand and solve more problems across the education ecosphere. But Achieve Miami does an amazing job at focusing on students, enrichment opportunities, mentorship, career opportunities for students, and really making sure that they're taking care of that side of the ecosystem. And TAP is focusing on the workforce pipeline to make sure students have opportunities to have teachers in their classrooms and they're not missing out because they don't have a classroom teacher.
So in conclusion,
Yes.
What do you want to say to our viewers
Yes.
before we end this podcast?
Hug a teacher.
Hug a teacher?
Love a teacher. I think if
you
there's...
have to ask permission before you hug them,
Before
right?
you hug them, ask permission, of course.
In writing or just verbally? Is that good enough?
But in all seriousness, I think the most important thing to remember is that the teachers are really not just a heart of our community, but they're a group of people we really need to wrap around, continue support. And that's what the Teacher Accelerator Program is doing. So if you know somebody who would be a great fit and you said, maybe you should consider teaching, I would encourage you to send them down this pathway. If you yourself have always been thinking about this and you're like, hey, maybe I'll become a teacher, TAP is a great way to do that. We create a very clear pathway, and it's a good opportunity to not just do something that will give you purpose every day, but that will help grow yourself as well.
Well, you may have to sign me up as a substitute teacher. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank Jasmine for being here and educating us about what she's up to.
Thank you.
I want to remind everybody that it's very, very important that you participate in your community, that you get out there and you go to commission meetings and that you speak up and that you find out what's going on with transportation, what's going on with zoning, that you find out what's going on with traffic and housing and how to get more teachers signed up for these kinds of programs. And last but not least, as I often paraphrase, remember, or what is it? Don't ask what your community can do for you, but
ask what you can do for your community.
Ask what you can do for your community. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.